WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American over here in Germany, often reviewing rare and exotic whiskeys. This time I'm in the Netherlands. One of the first times I've had a Dutch single malt whiskey from Millstone. Now, Millstone is the brand. The distillery is called Zuidam. And I almost visited them once in last year, but I called up and it was like, I'm sorry, tomorrow's very busy. Could you come back the next day? And it's like, sorry, I'm just here on vacation. I have 3 hours of time with my wife. I could sacrifice for that, and it just didn't work out. This is Millstone Dutch whiskey. Why Millstone? Because they actually have the windmill and they have the millstone that they actually mill the malted barley with. Where the malted barley comes from, I don't know. I have never asked. And they say on their website that is especially important because it keeps the barley nice and cool by milling. And the very next sentence they say, and then we add hot water to do the mashing. It's like, okay, we keep the barley nice and cool, then to add hot water. I'm not really sure how important it is to have cool barley while milling. That's just my problem. All right, this is Whiskybase number 244819. We have 46%. We have a price of between 65 and 67 euros over in Germany. I assume it is a full maturation in Pedro Ximénez casks. There are 2,384 bottles. This was distilled on the 30th of August, 2016. It was bottled on the 30th of October 2013. Am I reading that right? So, yep, exactly. And we have here natural color. We have here no non-chill filtered, double distillation, and malted barley. Now, Millstone also do some interesting peated variations. And if you look at their website, which is type in Millstone Dutch whiskey, you'll get there, or type in Zuidam, ZUIDAM.nl, and they will actually, if you go to show all whiskeys, you can let Google translate it. It's in Dutch, but if I can read German, I can read Dutch more or less. All right. And so we have a third number. There are special releases so far. There's 30 special releases. The 30th was an American oak from 1996. That is 27 years of age. Wow. The number 29 we have here, which is 7 years of age, with Pedro Ximénez. If we go now to number 28, it was a peated Tawny from the year 2018. We go to number 27, it was a Millstone peated Amarone, just 6 years of age. And then we go to the special number 26. It was a peated Rivasal, 3 years of age. That's very, very, very young. Then we go to the 25. It's a peated white port, distilled 2018. And we go to number 24. It's an Oloroso 22-year-old. Wow. And you go to number 3, which is basically the big brother of this. This is a Millstone Pedro Ximénez, 7 years. Everything identical, but it was cask strength. And you can down the line, you can see the different bottles they have here. Sometimes it's 20 years old, sometimes it's 3 years old. It's really, really unique what they're doing. The distillery opened up in 1972. So they do a lot of different, 1975, my mistake. And they do a lot of different things. They have good pot stills there. I think they're made in Germany, the pot stills, but that's okay. What am I going to compare it to? I really thought, do I have anything from Germany that could be considered a standard core range product with a lot of sherry? I couldn't find anything. I didn't really have anything available. I wanted to compare it to the Glendronach 15 years of age, but that's 72 euros. This is 65 euros. That would have been, I don't know if it's fair or not, but a little bit of an unfair situation. So I just decided to go for the cheap one, the Glendronach 12. This is 43%. This is 46%. This is non-chilled filtered. It says so here still on the bottle and on the tin. This is also natural color. So 40 euros. All right, 40 euros versus 65 euros. 12 years, 7 years. This is Pedro Ximénez and Oloroso. Is it a fair fight? No, of course not. The Glendronach's going to win every day of the week. But I still thought it would be a interesting comparison. Now, it's always unfair to compare a big distillery. What does Glendronach produce? They produce 2 million. Let's say 2 million liters. I'm going to go look and see real quick. So this book is so handy here. You just pull it out, you take a look at Glendronach, and you see that they produce exactly 2 million liters. Maximum capacity there. And here they produce 40,000, 60,000, 80,000 max. Let's go for 100,000, all right? So they produce 20 times more. And of course, scales of size and scales of efficiencies are just given. All right, and here, this is a very family-owned, very, very interesting distillery there in the Netherlands, and why not pay a little bit of a premium? Now, the one thing that I really don't know, and I could have called up, I just wanted to do the video, I could have asked someone, but it was actually after I did my German video, I tried it and I had a thought, and I'll wait for that thought. I'll tell you that in a second. On the nose, I do get a lot of Pedro Ximénez. There's a lot of raisins. There's a little bit of a dark, earthy type of herbalness to this. Dark, earthy herbalness. That's a good word, a good phrase. And a little bit of barley sugar. In comparison to Glendronach, much sweeter, much brighter, much clearer. Not earthy, but a more accustomed smell. This smells very continental craft whiskey vibes. All right, I'm going to try this, 46%. Cheers. Many distilleries in Germany, I do not know the Dutch market enough to say this, but I think also in the Netherlands and continental Europe, many of these distilleries actually distill on grain. What does that mean? Your mash tun in Scotland, everyone wants wort. Wort is the sugary liquid taken out of the mash tun, leaving behind the spent grains. Now, what do Germans do a lot of time? Not every distillery, but more than I'm willing to actually believe sometimes, is they do not lauter. There's no lautering. There's no separation of the grain from the wort, from the sugary liquid. And so what they do is they just pump from the mash tun the entire grain and watery solution over to a fermentation tank, put in the yeast, let it do its magic, and distill on grain, with the grain together. Now, this, as you can imagine, gives a certain amount of graininess to the new make. On grain with the shell, with the grain, with the flour, everything that's going on after you mill the grains, in this case 100% malted barley, has an effect on that product. And what I got when I tasted this the very first time was that typical moment of on the grain distilled products. I have no idea if they did it or not. I do not know if they have a Lauterton. I do not know if they have a semi-Lauterton, but I think they do. I think they don't Lauter the product, just from my taste experience here, which is not bad, but it does give a certain intensive aroma. Now, the Pedro Ximénez is still there. A little bit of the wood is still there. I'd be not surprised if that's European oak instead of American oak, but it could have been American oak as well. Now, the 46% burns a tiny little bit going down. It is 7 years of age, and yet it doesn't taste like it's 7 years of age. On the back of the tin, it says here, aging after the careful distillation, the whiskey is aged in small barrels. I have no idea what small means. Is that 30 liters, 50 liters, 125 liters? For sherry, 500? Hogsheads, 250? What's small barrels? We use new barrels of American white oak, as well as barrels that have previously held bourbon, Oloroso sherry, and Pedro Ximénez. So, and this is a Pedro Ximénez product. All right, so this is a C minus whiskey for me. This is nothing to write home about. This is nothing I'm going to go buy again. A lot of people in Germany have talked about single individual casks from Millstone, especially peated editions with Pedro Ximénez and so on, that they loved, and they were very, very quickly sold out. The normal edition, I did a bottle share, 70 CLs, 20 are gone. That's it. The rest, I'm sitting here and going, what am I going to do with this? What am I going to do with this 65 euro bottle and say, all right, I'm not going to be drinking it. I have all this other stuff to drink and try and review and so on. That's not why I buy bottles. I buy bottles to have a review. I buy bottles to do bottle share, get rid of the bottles, and move on to the next product. And every once in a while, there's a little bit, someone throws a wrench into the system and it doesn't work out like I wanted it to. Yeah, the Pedro Ximénez is there. I'm not even sure if more time in the cask would actually help this whiskey settle down a little bit, of take off the rough edges here. There is a lot of flavor. All right, I'm gonna do something I didn't do in my German video. I'm gonna bring it down to 40% and see if that helps this whiskey. So I don't know. So I do know that I like the Glendronach much better. I do know it's much cheaper. I probably put it down to 35. I put a little bit too much water in it. Would I prefer this whiskey at 40%? Wow. The sweetness of the Pedro Ximénez is even stronger than before. The little bit of the herbal earthiness is gone. It's actually, in my personal opinion, sorry, WhiskyJason here, with, I think I did about 38, 39% here, better. The Pedro Ximénez flavor profile shines through more. Why do we do 46%? That we can say we geeks want 46% non-chilled filtered natural color. So I'm going to give this a C with water, a C minus without water. Value for money, a D plus for a value for this bottle, maybe a C minus. Let's go for C minus minus D plus plus. Yeah, just as a comparison. I know this is not pure Pedro Ximénez. This is Oloroso on Pedro Ximénez. The influence of the cask is here much higher than over here, and yet that is the flavor profile that I'm much more accustomed to. I would much rather spend 40 euros and get another bottle of this than go out and buy another bottle of that. If they're putting out a couple different expressions every single year, they're up to number 30 already. They are doing very many different things. Zuidam, I hope you'll continue to have success. At the moment, you're not 100% my flavor profile, but your distribution has increased over the last couple of years, at least Germany, Netherlands, and European Union. And that's something we can actually congratulate you on. So, dear viewers out there, what product from continental Europe, that means we're excluding Ireland and the UK, do you know that actually has a similar flavor profile? Sherry, intensive, 46%, non-chilled filtered. What can you recommend instead of this? I went for that, but maybe you know something else. Thank you very much for watching, liking, subscribing, and if you can write down maybe also your favorite Dutch whiskey. Bye-bye.